Hello, Abraxas here, and I'll be playing some Space Engine. So, I'm going to start off the video by saying I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm actually using my old microphone, so it does pick up a lot of background noise. You might hear my chair squeak throughout this video, and, yeah. Anyways, this is a re-recording. I did not actually visit any of your guys' suggestions yet, but, I kind of just stopped midway in my rant, or rambling, or whatever, the thing I typically do for like the first 10 minutes of these videos. Because I was getting a little out of hand, and I got out to like 30 minutes just talking about random stuff. So, yeah, I figured, that's a little bit too lengthy, I should probably cut that down a little bit, so I'm just going to get straight to the point. My first point's going to be, I have too many suggestions. Plain and simple. There's too many suggestions. I don't know what's going on here. It looks like somebody used multiple YouTube accounts to just suggest a bunch of things to me for this episode. So, I think this is going to be kind of the first time ever that I skip over a kind of scary large portion of your guys' suggestions. But that's because I'm actually laying out some new rules for suggestions on this series. What's going on here is essentially there's too many suggestions, and really, I am just not having fun with a lot of them, and that is particularly the cataloged suggestions. Needless to say, I don't like visiting a random galaxy with no further instruction, and by that I mean let me just go ahead and zoom out here into the galaxy view, and I'll just click on a random object. So here is a random galaxy. Somebody tells me to visit this. It's an elliptical galaxy. Okay, it's just a blur. What am I supposed to do with this? Do you want me to go to the central black hole? Do you want me to pick a star to kind of just go and visit? To be honest, when you show me a galaxy, if there's nothing really too unique about it, you're kind of wasting my time in a way. I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but it's like, I have no further instructions. I don't really know what to do. I don't really think it makes for anything too interesting, because the game has about 30 different galaxy textures, and throughout the 76 episodes of my series, everybody has kind of seen them. It's like, really, if you want to see some random galaxies, just go and check out my previous episodes. There's just nothing really to view. And then the other thing is not just galaxies, but catalog suggestions. So, I get a lot of suggestions for people to visit something, or people want me to visit something from Kepler. Now, Kepler is known for finding exoplanets. Let's go ahead and bring up something from Kepler. Let's go to 1002b. 1004b. Let's go. Okay, so this is a prime example. It is a scorched gas giant. It was discovered in 2016 via transit, so we discovered it basically by it blocking out the light of the star and dimming it ever so slightly. And that's a repeating sequence as it rotates around the star, because it's at a very, very close semi-major axis. It rotates around relatively frequently, and we can monitor that, and, you know, we discovered an exoplanet, theoretically. And then we could judge the size, mass, diameter, all that kind of stuff from there. Well, pretty much all the Kepler suggestions are basically the same as this. That was just discovered via transit, and, needless to say, I don't really like visiting these suggestions. I don't really have anything to say. I don't know any facts about this planet. Nobody really gives me facts about it. They just tell me to visit something from Kepler, and it's like, that doesn't really make for anything interesting. So I really don't like visiting catalog suggestions unless you can be very descriptive about it, give me some good details, and if it's like a particularly unique object. So, needless to say, what I'm trying to say here is, give me suggestions that are random stars, random planets, stuff like that. And tell me, if it's a random star, give me something very specific to visit at that star system. Don't just tell me, oh, hey, visit every planet in the star system, because I can go visit one that's like 20 things, and what do you know, I'm wasting like probably 25 minutes just visiting that suggestion, and that's not going to work, so be a little bit more descriptive, please. You don't have to be, if you have a random planet that you just want me to visit. Okay, I will visit it, but I no way guarantee that I'm actually going to visit particularly what you want me to visit in that system. I'm probably just going to do a brief overview of the planet. If you leave a description saying, oh hey, check out the awesome sunset view or whatever of this planet or anything like that, then that's more descriptive. That is a lot more helpful, more direct, straight to the point, and gives me something more to look for. Maybe there's a really cool galactic collision, I don't know. But I'm not limiting it to, you know, just random planets or anything like that. You can still suggest things in catalog galaxies, that's perfectly fine. Like if you want me to visit a planet in Andromeda, if you have that specific planet ID in Andromeda and you want me to visit it, go ahead and post that ID. That's perfectly fine. Just don't really give me catalog things. Unless it's something incredibly unique, like a supernova, for example. That would be perfectly fine. A star that is doing something completely weird, I'm fine with that. If it's cataloged, it's just, you know, just not, you know, Kepler planets and stuff like that. It's just, So I'm gonna have to put that in the description of all my future videos, and for the people who regularly suggest things on my videos, I will put it in the description, like I said. If you see somebody doing that, just kind of comment, let them know. You know, kind of mini-mod them, I guess, moderate them a little bit, let them know, let them understand, be nice about it, that I don't really visit catalog suggestions anymore, because, well, it's just kind of overwhelming. I'm getting way too many suggestions, and kind of have to cull it down a little bit, because I can't have these videos going like 2 or 3 hours long. They're going to take forever to edit and render and upload, and then for YouTube to process, and I'm going to be spending half my day on SpaceEngine Exploration. And just can't really have that. Anyways, now that that's over, I will have that in the description, like I said. Now that I'm done talking about that, the next thing I want to talk about is, why haven't I done Space Engine? Well, it's because of the overwhelming amount of comments. Been kind of just holding off, letting it build up, and essentially, yeah, I'm going to be very choosy in this episode. A lot of people are going to be skipped. I really hate doing that. Like, I really do, because I have a very good track record for visiting every suggestion on each one of my videos, and yeah, this is going to be kind of this first video where I intentionally skip over a bunch of suggestions, so I'm very sorry about that. So, yeah, that's basically where Space Engine's been. I'm not bored of it or anything like that. It's just been like, wow, I'm not looking forward to actually making this video just because of, it's kind of a mess. I have so many comments here, it's crazy. So the first suggestions come from Cube Mapping. And he says, it's a warm Terra with an Oceania as a moon and a star cluster above the Milky Way galaxy. So it's going to be one of these star clusters kind of just hanging out up here. Maybe something like that. Or that. Or maybe even that. Let's go ahead and find out which one it is. I'm going to go ahead and note that it's harder to copy-paste because I'm actually viewing this from the actual video page. Normally I view it from the comments backend. Okay, apparently it's over here. Normally I view it from the back end that I could actually view on my channel, but I can't actually do that right now. Yeah, it does have a pretty view of the Milky Way. There it is over there. So I'm actually viewing the comments kind of the same way you guys do, and copy-pasting it as the actual owner of the channel is very difficult because it wants to do like this weird thing where it puts a box around the comments and stuff like that, and I don't know, it's kind of annoying. So we have a Terra here. It has a diameter of 7.7 thousand kilometers. And it's 60% of that the size of Earth. The atmospheric composition is water, methane, carbon dioxide, I don't know what NH3 is, and H2S is hydrogen sulfide, I think? I could be incorrect about that. I, once again, don't have my notebook here, and yeah, I kind of wrote out a huge notebook to kind of prepare myself for these videos, and then I never used it, so I don't even know. The atmospheric pressure is 0.37, 37% of that of Earth, so pretty light on the pressure. Probably not too healthy for us to survive on. And the temperature is a little bit inhospitable for us, being at 66 degrees Celsius. And I just deselected the planet. So it's kind of that blue Terra that we're kind of used to seeing. A lot of times when you view Terras, they're blue. Not really sure what the significance of that is, why the terrain is blue, but this one certainly is. And my performance really just dipped there. See if it recovers. It does not appear to want to recover. I'm probably due to restart my PC. It's been on for probably like a week and a half. Oh, and there's the Oceania over there, which I don't know if that is a moon or if this is a dual planetary system. I think that is a dual planetary system since they do look like they're about the same size. Let's bring on the orbit map. And there you go. It is a dual planetary system. So let's go ahead and check out this Oceania. The Oceania is a little bit cooler, sitting at 53 degrees Celsius. And has a semi-major axis of 15,000 kilometers. No, wait, no. Semi-major axis, no way. I was trying to look at the diameter. No, it has a diameter of 74,000 kilometers. And that was 500,000 kilometers, or not 500,000, but 100,000 air wheels. 155,000 kilometers in semi-major axis. That's the distance between these two planets. The diameter is 7,400 kilometers, and it's 58% the size of Earth. So they're around the same size, which probably explains why they're a dual planetary system. Doesn't look like there's any poles or any volcanoes sticking out here, so it is a full Oceania. Let's go ahead and touch down on the surface. Oh, it actually has some beautiful dark water. Well, that looks really cool. Kind of has a lighter atmosphere. Not really too much to view here because, well, there's no real terrain for us to explore. But there you go, there's the Oceania in this binary system. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from Cube Mapping. And he says, it is a temperate Terra with 5 moons and very visible rings in the Andromeda galaxy. And this is what I mean, like, these descriptions are very, very helpful when it comes to actually, you know, just checking out the planets, because I don't really have to search around, I don't really have to spend too much time to just get straight to the point, which really does help because, well, I only have so much time per suggestion. So if I don't get around to that amazing view that you want me to see and you didn't really specify it, it's because you didn't really, you know, specify it. So here is a little asteroid moon just hanging out in these big rings. The rings are not too vibrant really, they're actually kind of grayscaled. I see a little bit of rainbowing through them, but not really too much. But they are big and very visible, and look at that beautiful shadow there. Kind of bluish Terra, kind of like the other one. Frame rate is still dipping a little bit, so I do apologize for that. I do hope to one day be able to maybe upgrade my PC, but today is certainly not that day. Go ahead and touch down next to this active volcano. So, you can see there's lava running down the sides of it. And it's actually kind of a flatter volcano. Looks very cool. It's not too absurdly high, but it's pretty up there in altitude still. So let's go ahead and head down to the surface, which it looks like this Terra has those kind of roundish, bumpy hills. Not seeing like really any erosion or anything. Things are kind of slow to generate, which is kind of a telltale sign that my PC is running slow right now. Sorry about that. It is what it is. I'm probably due to restart my PC. I've rendered a lot of videos since this thing's been on, and I don't know, it just really clogs up, I guess. But let's go ahead and zoom back out. It looks like we have 2 layers of clouds that I can see off in the distance here. We're currently above one layer, and there's another layer still above us here. So yeah, this planet actually has 2 cloud layers. Let's go back out. And a very cool looking planet. So the diameter of this planet is... No, wait, I'm still looking at the asteroid. The diameter of this planet is 17,000 kilometers, so it's 1.39 times the size of Earth, or 139%. Very cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which I'm going from latest to oldest, I guess I would say, and the next suggestion is from Andromeda. So let's go ahead and go there. Andromeda is known for doing a lot more than just the planet itself. He does like the galactic view. If you want me to look at the galaxy around the planet, just for the view, I guess, do definitely specify that, because that is important, and yeah. It's just a really cool detail that he does. I know Andromeda, I know to look in the sky whenever he posts something, because he likes to post in galactic clusters and stuff. When there's collisions and all that, those are typically cataloged galaxies. And like I said, cataloged galaxies are fine. Just give me a planet to visit inside the galaxy, and maybe tell me to zoom out and look at the galaxy itself if it's like a collision or something. Anyways, we have 2 volcanoes kind of sitting side by side here, which looks very cool since they kind of plateau off into these rough hills. And this is a desert world, and it has a surface temperature of negative 43 degrees Celsius, so a really cold planet. The atmosphere is very, very thin. Carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and I don't know what that last compound is right there. Oh, and there goes my phone. Okay, so I am back. got a text and interrupted my recording. But let's continue on. I don't even know where I left off at. Ah, jeez. Anyways, this is kind of a beautiful world. Really nice gold color. Kind of leads off to a blue sunset, which is really fitting, I would say. It kind of keeps like a very metallic color, I would say. Because it has like a metallic blue, kind of a gunmetal color as you kind of fade through the sunset, and then it's a nice, very vibrant gold. Very pretty. So let's go ahead and check out what's kind of surrounding us here. We are on a moon. This is not just a planet. As you can see, we are orbiting around that gas giant over there. That gas giant kind of has a goldish color, I think. Maybe. No, it's very pink. It looked kind of goldish and pinkish from a distance, but it's kind of more of a gray and pink. And there is the awesome kind of sunset there on this gas giant. Really awesome pink as you kind of go through the atmosphere. And it looks like we are kind of sitting around an elliptical type galaxy. Let's go ahead and select this here. We can actually see the center of the galaxy right there at that point. Let's go ahead and head straight to it. And there's the central black hole. Very nice. Let's go ahead and zoom out and kind of get an idea of what we got around us. So we're sitting at the edge of this galaxy, but I did see another elliptical type galaxy nearby. I just can't seem to spot that now. If I go ahead and fly back to this one, it's got a lot of very bright stars on one side of it too. I wonder why that is. Like, this side doesn't have any like super bright stars, but this side is covered in. Are these galactic, or are these globular clusters? No, they're just supergiants. Very weird. Not too sure why that's happening, but that's apparently a thing. Oh, there's the other. Oh, wait. Wait. Is that IC1101? That looks like IC1101. That's incredibly huge. Yeah, even as I zoom out, it's still really big. I think we're in a galaxy next to IC1101. Oh, yep, that's exactly what that is. So it's a little tiny elliptical type galaxy sitting next to this super galaxy, I would say. This giant monster of a galaxy with its absolutely huge and terrifying black hole. Very nice. And let's just hit play and watch this thing spin around for a little bit. And I visit this galaxy way too often. Yeah, this thing is terrifying. Well, even if I didn't want to be anywhere near that, if I was anywhere near that, I would just be dead. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, once again from Andromeda. It seems like I'm constantly flying backwards. There we go. And the second I hit OK, the game crashed, so I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and head back to that next suggestion from Andromeda. And it doesn't appear to want to copy-paste now. One moment. There we go. Let's go ahead and remove that question mark, and let's head over there. Okay, so it looks like we're in the Triangulum galaxy, judging by that kind of supernova thing going on, and there's the Andromeda galaxy peeking its way through there. Go ahead and fix this window real quick. Okay, so a temperate desert with life. Okay, so I assume the purple part's life. Let's go ahead and zoom in and just touch down on this very detailed and very beautiful looking desert. This is a really nice looking world. So here we go. Can't really see the life. I could turn up the ambient lighting, but not really seeing the texture here. But I do think this is one of the life textures. And the colors are pretty interesting. We got kind of this nice striping going through the terrain. Like kind of a sand dune effect. Very nice. And over here we have some kind of golden looking, golden but orange jagged hills that really contrast and complement the terrain very nicely. You got these kind of, I don't know, basins, lakes, something like that are filled with like purple plant life, and then you got these bright orange hills, and you can see there's another planet there just kind of in the skybox. It's in kind of the skybox out in the sky. Way out in the distance, and is this actually a moon? It says planet, so that's got to be another planet over there. Interesting. Let's see if we can see the life texture from over here. Can't really tell what that is at all. What's this? Nope, still really can't tell. Oh, okay. It's kind of that generic life texture, actually. I'm seeing it in the orange texture here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some treetops or something. I've never really been able to tell what that is, but that's one of the life textures in the game. And I don't think there's too much more to actually visit on this planet, other than this is just overall a very beautiful looking world. And there's its very bright auroras. Let's go ahead and check out the nearby neighboring planet. Is this a gas giant? This is a gas giant. Oh, and it's got a really cool gray and gold color. Very nice. I don't think I've actually seen something like that in the game before. And there's the parenting star, which I can only assume is some type of red dwarf. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Over here, we have a completely different looking gas giant, I think. It's a lot more orange, looked kind of red from the distance, and just very cool looking. Go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Mr. Star Wars. Oh yeah, I didn't touch on the other topic I was going to kind of discuss. The next topic I was going to talk about at the beginning of the video was, I don't know if I'm going to be doing any live streams, and if I do, they're probably not going to be space related. Personally, I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy live streaming. It was kind of fun being able to directly interact with you guys like that, but I don't know. I wasn't really enjoying the live streams too much, and it's just not really my thing, to be honest. So let's go ahead and check out this world. It has a description for it. This is the second highest ESI I've ever seen. It is a Terra moon. It looks a lot like Earth. And if you speed up time, you'll see something very interesting. Also, the galaxy in the distance is something... Okay, so it's a previous suggestion with the white dwarf. Okay. So we have a little continent here. Not too Earth-like. Not really seeing any giant continents. I see some active volcanoes and some pretty devastating-looking craters. But nothing too significant there. The ESI of this planet is 95%, so pretty high. I think I've seen higher before, though. I've seen 98%. But, I guess it's just kind of a Terra-looking world. The temperature on this planet is 23 degrees Celsius, a little bit warmer than our Earth. The diameter of this world is 10,000, closing on 11,000 kilometers in diameter. It's 85% the size of Earth. The atmospheric pressure is 0.42, 42% of that of Earth. Pretty cool. It looks like we have the grass texture mixed in with some winded sand, making it look almost desert-like. And beautiful eroded hills. So let's go ahead and see what he was talking about. So it looks like we have two stars there, judging by the kind of weird shape of them. And, maybe it's going to fade two different colors. Maybe it might just kind of dim into a dark thing. Maybe that is what he's talking about. Let's go ahead and hit play and let's just see what happens. Okay, so the stars are spinning, and it definitely got brighter, a lot brighter. So let's see if I can decrease the field of view so we can get a better view of what's going on here. So these two stars are orbiting around each other, one significantly more brighter than the other. But they eclipse each other as they kind of orbit around each other, and this planet orbits around them. So pretty cool. Like right about now. It just got much dimmer because one star is actually blocking out the light of the other star. Even though they are both very bright objects, one is still brighter than the other, and one can still eclipse the other. So it's pretty cool. Light cannot pass through a star. So it makes a very cool effect. And if I speed up time here, we can see it happen a lot more frequently. Very cool. Makes a nice strobing effect. I don't even know what you would call that, and it's not technically nighttime. Oh, and that made for a very cool looking sunset. Look at the nice detailed cloud layer. Very cool. Yeah, that's definitely an awesome find. I did have a video on this like before, but yeah, it's just really cool. I think I did that for one of my Beauty of Space Age videos, which by the way, I do actually want to make another one of those, so do expect one of those in the near future. It's just a matter of blue screening my PC about 5 times trying to record the dang thing, and crashing the game a lot, because that happens when you try to record this game at 4K. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from Mr. Star Wars. So let's go ahead and see. It's a temperate Terra with life. It says, look at the ESI. 98%. Okay, so, well, there's one with 98%. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, so we have a really gold-looking atmosphere, it appears. I assume that's probably some type of... Oh no, that's orange dwarf. I was gonna say yellow dwarf. Whoops. Let's get rid of that space, get this planet selected again. The diameter of this planet is 12,000 kilometers, very similar to Earth, sitting at 95% the size of Earth. The... Ah, man. Keep clicking off of that. There we go. The atmospheric pressure is 0.85, 85% of that of Earth. Carbon dioxide and oxygen makes up the composition, has an orbital period of 11 days since it's orbiting around a pretty small... No, wait, never mind. It's orbiting around that gas giant right there. It is, in fact, a moon, as you can see up in the top left corner. Very cool. Let's go ahead and fix our field of view. So it does look like we're going through a warp drive or something. And, yeah. It's got some rounded tails. Pretty cool. And, yeah. Once again... Gold seems to be the theme of this episode. Gold in color. Hopefully the, go ahead and adjust my microphone here. Hopefully the music is not overpowering my voice too much in this one. I did try to balance the audio a little bit better. I know the last episode was kind of... The music was a little bit too loud. I'm hoping it's not in this one. I'm seeing it peak up about halfway the volume of my voice, so... Yeah, I'm trying, but, you know, no guarantees. We have a bluish ocean. Oh, what galaxy is that? NGC 4015. There's another galaxy there. Looks like we're next to a galactic collision. We'll check that out in just a moment. Let's go ahead and see what color this ocean is. Here we go. Ah yes, it's actually very blue in color. And it's entirely the atmosphere giving it its kind of yellowish color, I guess. So let's go ahead and check out this galactic collision. Okay, so we're sitting in a galaxy that kind of looks like the fingerprint of our Milky Way when you look towards the center of it, but I assume that is definitely a way incorrect assumption, and there is a blue galaxy colliding into it. Oh no, that actually does look a little bit like the Milky Way. A little bit more purple. Very cool. Looks kind of like an early galaxy. Like, you got all these, like, brighter things. It's typically a sign of, like, the birth of new stars and stuff like that. And that could just be an effect of the galactic collision, but I don't think the game really goes into that detail. I imagine if two galaxies collided, there would be the birth of, like, a lot of new stars, as, like, the interstellar dust kind of collided with each other. And, yeah, things got stirred up quite a bit. So yeah, we have this really cool galaxy right here colliding with the other galaxy. And if we actually visit a planet in this galaxy, let's go ahead and just check out this star. And here's our planet, for example. Here's our black hole, apparently. So if we visited a planet in this galaxy, we'll call this a planet. We could actually see a brighter, bluer little fingerprint of this galaxy. Much more transparent, and it kind of blends into this galaxy. So that's kind of a really cool effect. The black hole, of course, distorting and tearing apart all the light that is being received from that galaxy right there. Very nice. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Epic Gamer 01, and he says this system diameter is 1,641 astronomical units. Let's get rid of that question mark, and here we go. Looks like we're in the Milky Way galaxy, if I were to guess. Yep. And we got a dying star here, red luminous supergiant with a black hole. No. With a bunch of planets orbiting around it, in fact. And the system diameter, as he said, is 1,641 astronomical units, so very big. But I can only assume that is simply due to the furthest distant asteroid and not the furthest distant planet. The semi-major axis on the furthest planet is 809 astronomical units. So, yeah, that's based on some asteroid that is orbiting very far in a very, very dark region of this kind of system. but very cool, and a really nice looking supergiant. Like a walnut, I would say. Should check out one of these close by deserts, just to kind of get a little bit of perspective of how big this star is. Okay, that has a super dense atmosphere. We're not going to see anything from there. What about this one? That one is a molten desert, but we can land on that. There we go. That is a very hellish view, and we got a cool eclipse of one of our moons. Very nice. Flaming clouds, scorching earth, and if you look at the night sky, there's so much thermal shift that it looks like it's just purely molten. Very cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from the Interstellar Storm. It says, I don't know if the ESI can get any higher. Actually, it can, I'm pretty sure. If you actually visit Earth, shockingly enough, it has an ESI value of 1, which is 100%. That's actually the highest it gets. I'm just messing with you. Oh, 98, 97%. Actually, we just visited a suggestion that was 98%, so it certainly can get higher. But a very cool looking world. Really nice detail to it, as you can see. Kind of like how the purple and green are complementing each other here. And let's just go ahead and touch down right at the seam of this. So this supposedly cyclone that didn't really generate too well. So I could already tell that we're going to have some really lovely looking eroded hills with some snow caps on them. And here is our life textures. Okay, so we have some kind of mossy gravel kind of texture going on here. And over here we have some kind of treetops, it looks like. Which makes for a really nice contrast, really detailed looking world that I think anyone can appreciate. Looks very nice. And let's go ahead and see... Oh wow, look how low the cloud layer is on this world. Very low. You can see how nicely these hills plateau off. Very natural looking and very nice. But the super low-lying cloud layers kind of make for a weird view. Anyways, the diameter of this planet is 11,000 kilometers. 87% of that of Earth. The atmospheric pressure is 0.208 atmospheres pressure. So 20% of that of Earth, so not a very thick atmosphere at all. And it looks like we are at the edge of an elliptical type galaxy. Is this one going to be next to IC 1101? I don't actually think so. Oh, what's that? That's the Milky Way, isn't it? Oh, so we're at an elliptical type galaxy near the Milky Way. Interesting. But very nice. Really beautiful looking world, and I kind of like the green water it's got going on here. At least I think that is green water. Oh yeah, that definitely is. You can just kind of see it. It's kind of green, but you can see like the atmosphere, blending it to make it look like a blue. Very nice looking. And just very colorful and very vibrant and beautiful. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from the Interstellar Storm 4180. It says, slightly vibrant rings. That's the only description he has for this one. Let's go ahead and check it out. Another temperate Terra with life, this one being a lot further away. You can see there is a galaxy there and another galaxy kind of colliding into this galaxy. Oh yeah, that is definitely what's happening. We're in between two galaxies that are colliding next to a globular cluster, and there's a third galaxy making its way over here, it looks like. Very nice. You can see the star has a very, very big comet tail over there. And there's yet another galaxy kind of in our neighboring cluster. Okay, so this is kind of a vibrant world, nice color to it, and we have some big pink rings, it looks like. Kind of a darker pink. And it has a couple small bands just sitting on the outside of the rings. Very cool looking. The temperature of this planet is 25 degrees Celsius. It looks almost desert-like for a Terra-like world. There's going to be a lot of sand. Let's go ahead and slow down as we kind of zoom in here. So once again, we have some really lovely looking eroded hills. And there's our, what I call, the generic life texture, because it's really just unexplainable, it's just green. It looks like either some kind of moss or some kind of treetops. Can't really tell. And yeah, as I said, it has a lot of sand. It looks like it's a really sandy world. You can see it kind of banding through the grass. And we got some really kind of spiky, eroded, sandy hills with more and more grass, and you can see the beautiful bands from the rings. And there's the parenting star with a slightly green tint in its appearance. As down in the lower atmosphere, the rings got a little bit less visible, but they are still certainly visible and look beautiful. Very nice. Looks very dry for a Terra world, just because of the sand everywhere. But as you can see, it does have liquid oceans. And the water is weirdly dark. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from the Everett, I think that's how that's pronounced. It is a tidally locked, warm Terra with life. It has dark red tinted waters and organic, multicellular marine and terrestrial life. Okay, oh, is it not going to load? Oh, that's unfortunate. Ah, yes, Gabriel says the ID didn't actually work. I'm going to say make sure you type that ID correctly, and also make sure you are on the latest version of Space Engine, which down here in the bottom right corner where I'm circling. I am currently on version 9.8.0. You have to be on the same version for suggestions to work, or else it's going to have a mismatch because the randomly generated planets are different for every version of the game. So, yeah, you have to post suggestions from the same version of the game. Okay, so I'm back, and the next suggestion is from the X. Let's go ahead and pay a visit to it. Or not, the game crashed. I'll be right back once again. Okay, so I am back, and here we go. This is a very cool looking world, I have to say. Let me adjust my window once again, since it moved on me from restarting the game. The atmosphere has a red color to it in the sunset region. You can kind of see it glowing here. And let's just go ahead and touch down in this region and watch the sun kind of rise. Wow, very red in color. Look at that. And as we fly in, it just turns kind of orange to a goldish color. And starts to... This planet just looks like it's perpetually sunset. The planet itself is very detailed and beautiful looking. I love the green water. Makes it look very swampy, I would say. It's in fact a moon. It's a moon of that gas giant over there, I do believe. The ESI of this world is, again, 98%. A very high ESI for a very not Earth-looking world. And there's a lot of craters that have kind of pelted this planet. A lot of asteroids, or meteors, in fact. Let's go ahead and touch down right over here. Yeah, this looks very swampy, I would say. So we have some kind of treetops going on. We got sedimentary rock textures with a very, very coarse look to them. Pretty cool. And there's a snow-covered volcano out there in the distance. And it is just peeking right up to the cloud layer. It's certainly active. Very cool looking world. Love the green water. It's kind of doing this effect. I think this is just a fade effect to make the water look not as jagged at the edges, but it makes for kind of some weird artifacting sometimes. You can see the actual edge of the water right over here. But yeah, it does this sometimes. Typically it does that mostly with these rounded type hills that you're seeing here. And these are our two life textures for the world. So we have the lighter color is kind of a grass, and the darker color looks like some kind of forest. And there goes my phone once again. Maybe I should turn off my phone when I'm recording these. Probably advisable. I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, but it did upload a slow motion video of just a bunch of random things I was recording. Just dumping a glass of water into like a little tray of water, and my CPU fan. That didn't really make for an interesting part. The coolest part was easily the fire that I lit. That looked very cool in slow motion. It's just 120 FPS. It's not like an iPhone 7 that could do like 240, 720p and all that kind of stuff. But it's a new feature on my phone I really wanted to just mess around with. And I thought it was pretty cool. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Jamie Jam. And he says, Planet 11? We're going to visit the 11th planet from this star. Let's go ahead and head over there. White main sequence star. In the Andromeda galaxy, towards the center of it, it looks like. If I were to guess. Yes, this is Andromeda for sure. So the 11th planet, there it is. A frozen titan with life. I love titans. I have to say they're probably my favorite type of planet just because they're very unique. It looks very dark. Against the very bright center of this galaxy, that just makes for a really cool effect. But the reality is this planet would be illuminated on all sides by the center of the galaxy. The galaxy's brightness would illuminate this planet. Very, very dim, because, well, they're always very far from their parent stars. Well, actually, no, this wouldn't be illuminated on all sides. But if you're in the center of the galaxy, they're incredibly bright with older stars. And very, very high density of them. Okay, I am back. And where was I? Ah, yes. That's actually on the planned features list for this game, is to have the center of these galaxies actually illuminate planets. As you can see, it has some really cool orangish clouds, and it just looks like it's covered in snow. Which, as you would expect, Titans are actually, in fact, very cold. This one has a temperature of negative 202 degrees Celsius, so a very, very cold planet. And an actually kind of dense atmosphere. It's actually 1.01 atmospheres of pressure. So, basically very equivalent to the pressure that's actually on Earth. Very nice. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Martian24. And he says it's a carbon star. Let's go ahead and check it out. Same galaxy, Andromeda, and that is in fact a carbon star. It has that cool kind of cracked look to it. And it has something orbiting very, very close to it. Let's go ahead and check that out. It is a scorched desert. Not molten on this side. But it does have a very Venus-like atmosphere. It's super thick. So if I touch down on it, right here where the sun is setting, everything's just red below me, so I assume it's completely molten. Which, yes, it's all lava. This planet is sitting at 1300 degrees Celsius. It is a very, very hot and inhospitable world. Off in the distance here, we have some gas giants. Let's check out their moons. Oh, look at that. We have a dual gas giant system. Pretty uncommon. I don't really see that too often in this game. And they have beautiful gold and gray bands on them. Once again, sticking with that gold and gray kind of theme we got going on for this episode. Very nice. Very cool suggestion. Is there anything else actually orbiting around this system to take note of? There's a Selena. And there's the parenting star. Wow, that looks very cool. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit just so we can watch the kind of solar winds just fly off of that star. Very beautiful effect. You can see there's actually a huge comet tail there too from the kind of molten desert that's orbiting around it. Anyways, let's go ahead and copy paste from the next suggestion, which is from Derpsauce Gaming. Let's go ahead and paste it in, pause time. And here we go. Once again, nope, this is not the Andromeda galaxy. This is an elliptical type galaxy near the Milky Way. There's the Milky Way right there. Anyways, he has the description here. He says, it is a warm Mars-like world with life around a gas giant above the Milky Way galaxy, which it certainly is, and that is an Absolutely beautiful view, actually. I think this right here might just be the thumbnail for the video. I think that looks very awesome. Actually, no, when I think about it, the Space Engine logo is going to be on the left side, so maybe if I should rotate this around and this perhaps be the thumbnail for the video. I think that'll be the thumbnail for the video. Looks very nice. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out this desert world, which has a diameter of 6,100 kilometers, being 48% of that of Earth. Pretty small world, half the size of Earth in diameter. Has an atmospheric pressure of 0.02% the atmosphere of Earth. So not something we could actually survive up on, but again, makes it kind of very Mars-like, I guess. Which, the temperature of this world is 44 degrees Celsius, so it's quite warm in comparison to Earth. And it has that generic green life texture on it, and there's the parenting star. And as you can see with this thin atmosphere, it still stays pretty dark, I would say. But very cool nonetheless. Let's go ahead and check out that gas giant nearby. There's the elliptical type galaxy. Oh, what is this? Is this an Oceania? Oh yeah, there's an Oceania moon also orbiting around this gas giant as well. Which the gas giant itself is right over here. Is that another desert? That is another desert. This one doesn't have life on it though. Very cool. Does the gas giant itself have life? No, it does not. Only one of its moons do. Gas giant system. And where is this elliptical galaxy actually at, if it's this close to the Milky Way? Obviously, it's got to be cataloged. Yeah, I think I've been here before. It's not too visible. I'm sure if I just increased the magnitude, I can see it very clearly. It's orbiting a little bit further than the Magellanic Clouds. Well, that's if it's even orbiting, but you know. It's sitting probably twice the distance of the Magellanic Clouds to us. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from Derp Sauce Gaming. And let's go ahead and paste it in. A temperate Terra with life. He says, it's a pretty purple Terra, as you can see by the atmosphere, with life. Oh wait, read more on this comment. And above a pretty purple galaxy. Okay. So yeah, the atmosphere looks like it's purple, the water looks like it's blue, if that was my guess. Let's go ahead and touch down right next to this river, next to these snow caps. So the diameter of this world is closer to 16,000 kilometers, 1.24 times the size of Earth. The atmospheric composition is carbon dioxide and oxygen, and atmospheric pressure of 2.46 atmospheres, so very thick atmosphere, very large world, gravity would be heavy. Standing on this would not exactly be the easiest thing. Looks like we have a moon right over there, Selena. And yeah, has this really cool purple sky. Actually kind of pinkish. Fades off to kind of a purplish blue. Anyways, let's see. The plant life itself looks actually kind of bluish. We got our generic life texture with some winded sand kind of blending into it. And maybe some treetops right there. Let's go ahead and check out the snow-capped hills. Ah, yes, it's using the rounded hills, but this one's actually very small in scale, giving it a really cool detail, I would say. Very contrast look to the actual terrain itself. And yeah, makes for a very cool effect. The terrain on this world is just very blue looking, kind of has a blue shading. Really nice looking. And as you can see, all the kind of inner terrain on the continents here are frozen, just ice, because this world is sitting at a temperature of 9 degrees, which interestingly enough, no, wait, maybe, if it had a low atmosphere, or low atmospheric pressure, wouldn't things tend to boil off a lot faster, so maybe because of the higher pressure, things are freezing, potentially? I think that might really be the case, but I could be wrong. No, I think that is correct. Unless I'm getting that backwards. So that's probably why there's so much ice on this world. while the temperature is not really all that cold. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Chloe. No description, just a random planet, it looks like. Okay, so a warm desert. 8 degrees Celsius. Galaxy this is. Oh, it's Triangulum. Again. Triangulum has been pretty popular lately. Which is, I mean, kind of cool because somebody was asking you should visit Triangulum more and do a video specifically on Triangulum. Well, I'm not really going to do that, but you're definitely getting a lot more Triangulum suggestions. And again, with that nebula again, that kind of blocks out the Andromeda galaxy. Very, very orange atmosphere, I'd say. There's a very, very small star orbiting that we're orbiting around. You can tell because you can see the detail really clearly. It's a red dwarf. So this desert doesn't have life, so there's no life texture to actually look at, but let's see what the sunset looks like. I assume it's going to just stay mostly orange. Yeah, that's what it looks like, but it does make a really cool glow around this planet. Very nice. So it's kind of like Mars, but with like a little bit of a cloud layer and atmosphere going on. Kind of cool looking. Terraform, but if there's water on Mars and it was kind of, you know, actually like evaporating and going up into the atmosphere, that's kind of what that would look like, I guess. Over here we have some jagged hills, I can only assume, it being a desert-style world. And yeah, that just makes for a very pretty view. Very nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Max is Here. It says, and 4 other stars. Let's see. Your suggestions are not working. Again, make sure that you are on the latest version of SpaceEngine. Again, it looks like Gabriel is kind of on top of yeah, it looks like Gabriel's kind of on top of moderating his comment, I guess. Nah, it's not really rude or anything if you post more than 2 suggestions. It's just, you know, people don't read the description a lot, and they just think they can just post a lot of suggestions. We do have, like, kind of a rule here, and yeah, the limit currently is 2 planets. It might move down to 1 in the future, but we'll see. Depends how things pick up with only random suggestions. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Again, make sure you are on the latest version of SpaceEngine 9.8.0. Those look like those are actually IDs from the older version of SpaceEngine 0.7, I believe. So yeah, make sure you're on the latest version, and hopefully the suggestions actually work. Okay, so a lot of Kepler and Galaxy suggestions. Sorry that I'm skipping those. Let's see. Yes, the next suggestion is from Sky the Guy. And let's just go ahead and paste this in. A temperate desert. Oh, that's kind of cool looking. It's not reddish. It's got like a pale color to it. And look at how blue that galaxy is back there. There's the parenting star. I can only assume that is... yeah, yellow dwarf. Kind of looks like our sun. And let's just go ahead and touch down where the sunset is. Well, that's a pretty cool effect. The atmosphere is actually blue. But it looked very, very white from a distance. Does that mean like the terrain color is actually red? Let's get out of the sunset and see. No, it's just a very, very white world, but a blue atmosphere. It's so incredibly bright for some reason. Can't really explain that. The atmosphere itself looks very dark. That's a little bit odd. Let's go ahead and fly through right here. Okay, so very jagged hills, as is very common with deserts. There's no water to actually erode them down and make them look smooth. And it looks like we have a volcano over here, which doesn't look like it generated completely properly, and it's not active. So he says, as a description for this world, it is a cool planet with a sunrise visual of the galaxy. Let's go ahead and go somewhere where the sun is just set and hit play. Right here will do. And let's just go ahead and hit play. Whoa, that's going a little bit too fast. Where's the parenting star? There it is. And there's a star setting. So not seeing too much currently. Kinda lost track of where I was because it's so dark. Oh, I'm upside down. Somehow managed to flip my camera. See? There we go, that should make a cool view. There's the galaxy, so it's kind of interesting. The star kind of follows behind the galaxy in this rotation pattern. Kind of counterclockwise, I guess. It'd be the opposite. No, not really. It's just counterclockwise. It's the way we're spinning. That's something I should have thought of before I said that. But, very cool effect. And this galaxy I can only assume is that blue and gray one. That's kind of just one of the randomly generated galaxy textures. Let's go ahead and check that out. Yeah, it's the blue and gray galaxy texture. Yeah, I do recall specifically saying at one point this is like one of my favorite galaxy textures because it looks very cool. Like, I really love the shade of blue that's used here. When you fly in, like, the clouds really are not too blinding to the center of the galaxy. Well, I guess they are if you're right here. But, yeah, you can kind of fly straight through the arms of the galaxy, and it's just very awesome. It's just a really cool galaxy texture, and I do like the way that one looks. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from Sky the Guy. And he says it's an ice giant with golden gas bands and nice looking rings. So once again, another golden gas giant. Let's go ahead and check it out. Because once again, gold seems to be the theme of this episode. Gold. Actually, that almost looks like a copper color, I would say. Not really so much gold. But, yeah. Another gold planet for this episode. And the rings itself are kind of dim, but they have a pinkish color, I would say. And a really cool shine to them. Let's see if we can kind of block out the star with them a little bit. Oh wait, I say star, but it looks like stars with an S, because I see two lens flares here. Oh yeah, there's actually two stars. And even those are kind of trying to make their own gold color, I would say. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Mr. Duckbillface. And he says this planet has multicellular life, and so does its moon. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, very bright world, white atmosphere, looks kind of Earth-like. ESI is 76%, so actually a pretty low ESI. And it has life on it. So if it has a moon with life, I can only assume one is abiogenesis and one is panspermia. We'll figure that out in just a moment. So you can see this planet does have some rings. You can see the stars shining through it, giving a very, very beautiful view of those rings. And here is our life texture, which I can't really quite tell what that is. For orange, it's hard to tell, but I think that's the grass texture. And I don't know what else there really is to note with this planet. It's very warm. It's sitting at 85 degrees Celsius, so a very inhospitable world. And it has 16 atmospheres of pressure. I don't really recommend being on this planet. The diameter of this world is 114,000 kilometers in diameter, so 113% of that of Earth, so the gravity is a little bit stronger than our planet. Let's check out its moon, which is right there. The moon itself is a desert with life. It's much smaller, sitting at 4.9 thousand kilometers. Let's go ahead and zoom in right here. Is that snow? Or is that just some kind of salt lake? No, that is certainly not snow, which would make sense considering how hot this planet actually is. And it looks like, I think, maybe the same life texture. Let's reset our field of view. It is actually increased quite a bit. There's the sedimentary rock texture, actually cut off by this kind of lake. And that sedimentary rock looks actually a lot different. Really cool looking, I would say. Very nice. So let's go ahead and see which one started with life. I could only guess a Terra did, but let's bring up the menu here. Is panspermia, which I do believe is invasive life. So it makes sense that the Terra is where the life originated, which is abiogenesis. Very cool. What galaxy are we in? Milky Way. Yeah, that looked a lot like the Milky Way. We're closer to the center, though. Yes, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Plazasta. And it looks like he has 3 suggestions, I think. Or is that just 2? I'll find out in a moment. I know Ian07 hasn't been holding the record for very long. Sorry, Ian. But I got a new Big Bertha. So apparently he has the new biggest star. I don't really have the stats up to compare them. But apparently this is the new biggest star. Ooh, and it has a very hellish appearance. Nice dark black and red color. And as you can see, the kind of solar wind is kind of glowing on that and giving it a really cool appearance. Very nice star. The diameter of the star is 167.02 astronomical units. So supposedly this is the new record holder. You guys are quick at finding this. You know, I spent like 8 hours one day looking for a star that would just beat that first biggest star, and I never actually found it. I scraped by it so closely, but I never actually beat it. And that was bothering me like crazy. But you guys seem to be very quick at finding these. We have a Selena that is scorched, and just to give you an idea of how big this star is. We're actually quite far away from that star too, it's just that big. We're sitting at a semi-major axis of 104 astronomical units. That is a little over twice as far between the distance of the Sun to Pluto we are sitting right now from this star, and it's filling up our entire field of vision when we look towards it. Absolutely crazy. And well, I would say absolutely impossible too, but very cool nonetheless. Let's go ahead and sorry, I was reading the comments. I don't know. I'm just not even going to touch on that. I don't know how I found what galaxy. I don't even know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from Plazasta, and he says, I've checked all the possible sources. This is the new biggest procedurally generated planet, which is very oval and weird shaped. Look at that glow. Very weird appearance. So this is apparently the new biggest planet as well. 743,000 kilometers in diameter. Very, very big. It is a scorched ice giant, and oh, that's cool. The atmospheric composition is actually xenon, not typical hydrogen and helium, or methane, or whatever. Very cool. So it's a xenon planet. That's very interesting. So apparently this is also the biggest planet, and it looks kind of like an egg when you look at it from this view. And apparently has a super low ESI. Oh yeah, 0.012. Pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Jordan Taylor, and he says visit Neptune. I guess I could do that. Let's go ahead and go over to Neptune, the planet with the strongest winds in our solar system. Very, very dim, because it's actually very, very far from our parent star. You see, they just make them look overexposed, so they look much more visible. If we bring up the list here, we can go to the moons, and Derpsauce Gaming wants me to visit Triton as well. See, it does actually have a texture. Satellite texture, I can only assume it's probably not fully finished. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn up the... Actually, no. Let's turn off the real planet brightness to show kind of the more classroom illustration that you would see of these worlds. So yeah, it's not fully mapped out. As you can see, there's some blurry parts of the texture. And if you land on it, since it is actually a textured world, it's not really going to have any detail on it. So, what's going on here? Oh, this planet, or moon, actually does have an atmosphere, giving everything kind of a cool appearance. Very nice. And there is Neptune, with some big, beautiful auroras sitting at the poles of the planet. And as you can see, there is some clouds, some minor bands through this lovely blue world. And apparently this has the strongest winds in our solar system. Really dark ring, or not rings, but auroras, kind of a purple and pink color. A hot pink too. Very nice. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Diego Jose Abreu Molina. I think that's how that's pronounced. And he says, this is a cool ice world, so let's go ahead and check it out. He says it's a really cool looking ice world, and he has another suggestion with a planet that supposedly has life. Did you see that? The ID there was bugged out in the search menu. Okay, so it looks like we're in the Andromeda galaxy. And this is the cool ice world. I assume it's only bright entirely because I have the real planet brightness turned off. So once we turn it on, it gets a little bit more dim and looks much nicer. A very detailed world, and yeah, very nice looking. So it looks like we have some ice worlds kind of orbiting around it as well. There we go, I adjusted my microphone, I should be a little bit louder. So, I'm seeing some cracks in the ice, pretty cool. Probably due to like tectonic activity and stuff like that. And there's no life on this world, so I assume he or she is referring to the other one. Got a beautiful pink atmosphere. This is with real planet brightness on, so very bright. And there's the parenting star, which looks like a yellow dwarf. White main sequence star, actually. The planet itself kind of actually has a pale color to it, though. Well, probably just due to all the ice. When you think about it, let's go ahead and check out one of these moons that are orbiting around it. If I can even get it selected. Ah, there we go. Let's go to this one. That's a cold Selena. And it has disco craters, which I highly approve of. If it's going to be a Selena or an ice world, they're typically boring worlds, but when they have disco craters, that's when you know they're interesting. That's a really cool view. And these things only really ever look cool when you're actually viewing them from kind of an angle of the point of illumination, which happens to be that star right there. Very nice. And is that a volcano, apparently? It's the texture of a volcano, but it's not really a volcano. I'm shocked I actually noticed this. Okay, that's a little bit weird. And I have to say that is a first time I've ever seen anything like that, but that is a wrongly generated volcano. I've seen misgenerated volcanoes before, but that one is new. Anyways, let's go and move on to the next suggestion, which is from the same person. And they say it is a temperate Terra with life. Let's go ahead and fly over there. Is it going to be in the same system? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. This is a Terra? Oh, yeah, it is. It actually is water. But it looks like it's mostly a land-style planet. So it's kind of more of a desert with a little bit of water on it. But very cool. Let's go ahead and touch down next to these hills. The cloud layer looks like... Actually, no, it's pretty high altitude. looks like it's very low-lying, but actually, no, not really. So we got some mountains here. It looks like we have the cracked mud texture kind of thing going on. The temperature is 9 degrees Celsius, so it's actually a relatively cool world. Not really seeing any snow peaks. The atmospheric pressure is actually very similar to that of Earth. And these hills are actually eroded quite a bit. They're not really too jagged, and they're plateauing off very smoothly. We have some bright bluish greenish water, it looks like. Very cool. And let's go ahead and go over to kind of the sunset side of the planet. Some water around here. Yeah, let's go right here. Might make for a cool view. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. So the life on this planet is marine life, so I'm not actually able to show you guys the life texture for this world, since all of it's underwater, and that's not really supported in the game yet. But maybe one day. But a very cool looking world, nonetheless. With some very beautiful views. It looks very foggy, I would say, from this perspective. Very nice, though. So, let's see. Is that the last suggestion? No, we have one more from Valen Falk. And they say it is an oval gas giant. Let's go ahead and check it out. So this is the last suggestion for the video. And here we go. Beautiful. Just to kind of finish off our golden video, we are in a golden galaxy, it looks like. And it is an oval-shaped gas giant. Kind of a pink and purple appearance. The other gas giant that we were at, the supposedly record holder, was much more oval-shaped. But yeah, this one's kind of elliptical in a way. I forget what causes this. I believe it's just from fast rotation, I guess. And as you can see, there's a bunch of kind of cyclones and storms on this gas giant trailing off. And it looks very cool. Is it going to be a detailed cloud layer? Let's go ahead and find out. It's kind of looking like it. Not super detailed, but you can kind of see that it's bumpy, I guess. There's a little bit of depth to it, but it's a relatively flat gas giant. I really like when, I've explained this many times before, but new viewers and stuff. I really like when gas giants have a really bumpy appearance to them, because it gives them a lot of depth. I played a little bit of Star Citizen for like probably 20 minutes. I never really got into the game. The controls were weird, like freaking me out. But with Star Citizen, you start off near this gas giant that just looks absolutely beautiful, and you can actually see the individual detail of the gas giant. But yeah. I think that is it for this video. If you guys like the video, please leave it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, sorry about that, got interrupted. Anyways, okay. This is gonna be a blooper for the end of the video, and there it goes again.